If you are like me, slowly dying of sadness due to the lack of Black Clover anime, and then also just the anime being on an indefinite hiatus, then the drop of a new Black Clover movie on Netflix is probably the happiest you've been all year.
I missed you, baby sweet.
Now, I was super surprised about this movie dropping because I honestly had no idea it was even coming out. I knew they announced that the anime would be taking some time off just for the manga to catch up, and that they might finish the anime with a movie, but I just didn't expect it to be on Netflix, or I just didn't expect anything at all for this, so I was actually completely caught off guard. Now, I did drop a review on the actual anime series once it wrapped up, so go and click the card to watch that. Now, this movie actually as a whole is kind of like any anime movie that Dragon Ball Z or Naruto kind of has. It takes place in the canon story, but as far as the anime or manga referencing this movie, I'm not sure. I just don't think it will, and I'm also not caught up with the manga either. Now, I do have to say, did this movie change the world? No, but I did like it despite it having some issues. So let's get into Black Clover, the Sword of the Wizard King, and go and like and subscribe and all that cool stuff. I want to quit my job to do YouTube, so now from the story and small hints that we get here, I believe this movie probably takes place before the dark triad arc, but after the time skip. My main thought here is that Asta is just super buff, and that happens after the time skip, but they also never reference the dark triad, so it has to be before that. And the big villain in this story is Conrad, a prior wizard king, and I gotta say, that concept is super sick. I love the idea so much. I think that's something that Naruto teases a bit, that not every Hokage is fair or as nice as you might like them to be, but this movie takes it to a whole other level and basically shows that Conrad, the prior wizard king to Julius, uses the title item, the Sword of the Wizard King, to resurrect other past wizard kings who are basically all like terrorists, I guess. They all just want to destroy the Clover Kingdom and commit genocide pretty much to reset the kingdom itself, basically to kind of start the Clover Kingdom off from anew as their own image versus what the Clover Kingdom is currently. And off rip, I just want to discuss my big issue with this movie here, just while we're here already. It's the antagonists and just the villains in general. I feel like I have to say this because the whole motivation for these characters is never really explicitly said. There are some subtle nods that they want to destroy the Clover Kingdom for sure, but we never actually see Conrad or the other wizard king's motivations as for why they want to do that. We get a small snippet at the very end of the movie that Conrad's wife was killed and that he was framed for it or something just insane, but they never really show it, and they never make really any effort for us viewers to understand Conrad or the other wizard kings at all. And it's just crazy because they hint this whole like insane narrative that his wife was killed and this whole crazy motivation thing, right? But a majority of this movie, we don't know why they're doing what they're doing. Like, I honestly thought the other wizard kings were being controlled by Conrad for a minute, but then it turns out that they weren't at all. They were kind of just acting on their own motivations, but they never explain why or why they team up or anything at all, really. So off rip, our villains are kind of mid. They're cool in presentation and in theory for sure, but we get little to no background info on them or motivations either. And while I like the idea of past wizard kings, it is kind of like, you mean to tell me 4 different kings of the Clover Kingdom are all evil? I don't know. I just find it hard to understand because yeah, one wizard king becoming evil, sure, I get it. There's a few bad apples every now and then, right? But 4 to just come out and all join this evil cult thing to destroy the Clover Kingdom just seems at this point like they should have, maybe we should stop doing wizard kings if they're all evil, because from the logic that this movie shows, it's pretty much a coin toss from a wizard king wanting to destroy the kingdom or save it. So I'm not sure. Overall though, that is my only main issue, is just the villains, and again, not the villains themselves, but rather the story behind them, the motivations and everything. However, that didn't stop me from really enjoying the movie. So let's talk about the things I liked. Firstly, the teamwork together is just it's just awesome in Black Clover. I love it, especially the handful of scenes where they're laying out traps strategically and capturing enemies and using teleportation and transporting people away and like all this kind of cool rock paper scissors stuff that they're doing to capitalize on the enemy. Because that's the whole thing, is that obviously no one in the Black Bulls other than Asta and Yami maybe can really go toe to toe with any of the wizard kings, but they can use their abilities and kind of capitalize on each other's moves, and they do that super well in this movie. And I honestly didn't really expect it to be so prominent here. Like, they do it a little bit in the show, but in the movie here they totally make it to where the entire team of the Black Bulls can kind of fight a wizard king realistically if they wanted to. And it's just awesome to see each person's individual strengths come together for one common goal, and seeing this honestly just made me miss watching the show that much more.
I'm so lost without you guys.
Another standout moment here for me was just seeing Yuno and Yami team up. These are 2 characters we don't usually see team up a lot, especially in the show at least, so seeing them here was really cool, and it was also fun to see both of their powers combine and kind of how they complemented each other. One of the most significant scenes in the series happened. One of the most significant scenes in this movie though happens towards the end, and that's when Julius gives Asta the Wizard King sword and pretty much tells him the kingdom rests on his shoulders. And I feel like this effectively means that Julius is basically saying he wants Asta to be the next Wizard King. It's a really powerful moment in this movie, and I think it sets up a lot of expectations for the future, and I'm hoping that they don't just like retcon it or act like this movie doesn't exist, like how a lot of anime movies do, you know? So overall, that's a really, in my opinion, key moment for the show and the story. I think it either is Julius hinting that he wants Asta to be the Wizard King, or it's the movie's kind of fun way of hinting that he's going to be the Wizard King by the end of the series or something. Maybe I'm reading too much into that. Overall, those are some of my favorite moments, but in general, the movie is good. The animation is just as good, if not better, than the animation you'd be used to with Black Clover already. The action is awesome all the way through. It feels super fluid. The movie is for sure one of the best animated things that Netflix has dropped this year. I would say the story was fun, and it did what it needed to do. It made the lore for prior Wizard Kings more in-depth and added a ton more questions to the Black Clover world. Whether or not they want to answer those questions in the anime or manga is obviously up in the air, but overall this is a good movie, and it reignited the flame for my interest in Black Clover. So I might even go ahead and read some of the manga now, but man, I can't lie, this movie just made me miss the anime so much. Seeing our team and the Black Bulls together just really, it reminded me how much I love the Black Clover show and the universe and the characters and just everything about it, and just how badly I want the anime to make a comeback. Was this Netflix drop as surprising for you guys as it was for me? Have you finished Black Clover yet? Do you miss it just as much as I do? Did this movie make you just want to go rewatch the entire series? Let me know in the comments, and thanks for watching to the end. I do appreciate it. Have a good one.